What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 32 podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Roy, who we've been speaking off camera. Uh, Premier League these days are not the topic of conversation, but it's all to do in Europe. And Roy, I had to put Declan Rice on the thumbnail just because of his amazing performance against Real Madrid. One of the best. The second free kick was one of the best free kicks that I've probably seen in some time as well.
I agree. I think it's the placement, right? It's the top right corner. Didn't touch the bar, didn't touch the post, just right in the corner.
If you wanted a definition for top bins, that was basically it.
God, he's amazing. Absolutely amazing. The fact that I didn't watch the whole game, I got up and watched the second half, and that's the best second half I ever watched. It's just great. It could be 5-0, right?
Yeah, because like I didn't watch the game, but I did watch I caught some decent amount of highlights, and Arsenal were just all over Real Madrid in that second half. Even the first half, I would say there were a few chances for Arsenal. There were one or two for Real Madrid where Mbappe was gone through, but apart from that, they didn't really do much from what I saw. So 3-0 up, lots to play for Arsenal. In the second leg, obviously at this point should be through, but still can't underestimate Real Madrid.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
Real Madrid. Anything can happen in Madrid, and no one should be counting their chicken yet.
Yep, fair enough. So still a lot to play for, which means we'll discuss about rotation as well for Game Week 32 from Arsenal's perspective as well. And apart from Arsenal, Aston Villa played PSG, lost 3-1 in the first leg. I guess you could say they still have something to play for. But I do expect PSG to potentially beat Aston Villa still. I think the PSG squad and the team, they've just got into a good amount of form right now, PSG, that at the moment they are the tournament favorites. So we'll see how it goes.
No, that's what Arsenal is.
Depends on which bookies odds you look at. But I think the thing is, because of Arsenal's injuries, I would still slightly edge PSG slightly above. But then PSG have this tendency of bottling it when it comes to the more important time. So I don't know. That's a possibility that Arsenal could probably edge it if they go.
They are a bit different now. I actually listened to a podcast about PSG the other day, talking about Luis Enrique probably is the most underrated coach at the moment.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he won the treble with Barcelona.
He put his team together.
Yeah.
He's actually amazing because there's no real superstars, right? You didn't have no Messi, and they actually play as a team. So I'm actually worried about PSG. Even though we beat them in the group stage.
Yes, that's the thing. So when they were playing, they were very close to getting knocked out of the Champions League as well, because they were such bad form. They've managed to find form in the last couple months, and now they're playing really well.
And they're still unbeaten in the French league.
Yeah, so they are a good team. And there's no, like you said, no mega superstar like before, where you had the Messis, the Neymars, the Mbappes, and the entire system was just unbalanced. Now they're actually a proper built team that everyone has roles and plays properly as well.
Pressing really high up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the only chance if Arsenal were to play PSG is counter-attacking them. Let them come out, probably counter-attack them.
Yeah, which could I mean, there could be an opportunity to get at them. You just have to kind of keep their star players like Dembele and I'm not even going to pronounce his name, but
I know who you're talking about.
Northern Ireland. Is he Northern Ireland? I don't know.
But where is he from? He's from some.
No, wait. He's from Georgia.
He used to play for Napoli, right? Napoli. And
he was from Napoli. No, he was initially from Napoli. He plays. I was Georgian. Yes, I was just wondering his nationality.
Yes.
Yep.
Georgian.
He's also trouble. So he's also someone you have to kind of keep an eye out for. Those two mainly, basically.
So the good thing about Arsenal is our defense has been really, really solid. Yes. Even though Gabriel is not there, Kivior came back in and he did really well last two games.
Yes, I mean, I was impressed by him in terms of like his ability to kind of fit into that slot. Now, obviously, that I guess we'll ask when we get to the fixtures as well this week in terms of whether Arteta will play him and Saliba again this week just to get a bit more of like the partnership between the two.
We
Because
got no one else.
yeah, that's what exactly. Because you could still rotate your fullbacks, like Ben White could potentially fill in there for Timber to give him a rest and all. But like just that centre back partnership, that's going to be very key, especially. So
Yeah.
yeah, Arsenal doing well. Villa will have to wait and see, and then obviously tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on time zone, United and Spurs, and also Chelsea, I should say, have their European games as well. So we'll see what happens with that. And we've also got confirmation that the Premier League has now top 5 spots that
So it's confirmed. Thanks to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's after Arsenal's win yesterday, it was confirmed that 5 spots for the Premier League.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. Interesting times ahead. Now, apart from that, let's get into the league. Now, chip talk and a bit of chip strategy discussion. I played my wildcard in game week 31. Roy, you still have a wildcard chip to play.
Yep.
And you've also used your triple captain and assistant manager, I think.
No, I still have triple captain, I think. Or let me check. I do. Yeah, I still have triple captain and free hit.
Okay. Oh, you used bench boost. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means you, on the other hand, don't necessarily need to wildcard this week if you want to. We'll get to your team later. But the wildcard windows for another wildcard window is probably 35. But because you've used bench boost, you don't need to necessarily focus on the bench. So you can have players that may potentially play in 34 as well.
Yep.
Depending. It just depends on how you want to play your free hit chip. Because your free hit chip most likely will either be used in 34 or 37. And the teams that will double in 36 are most likely dependent on who wins the FA Cup semi-finals. So if Aston Villa beat Crystal Palace, then Aston Villa will double in 36. And their opponents in 37, which will be Spurs, will move to 36 instead. Which means Spurs would also like double. Same thing with Forest versus City. Whoever wins that will double in 36 and then blank in 37. That's what we're expecting. There is a small chance where if, for example, Crystal Palace beat Aston Villa, and even like we don't know about Villa right now, because if Villa do go out of the Champions League, there is a possibility that there is no real need to move those games because none of them are playing European football unless let's say Spurs end up maybe qualifying to the next round and whatnot in Europe, then there might be a bit of a discussion. I don't know, because like Aston Villa, if they beat Palace, then their opponents will be also Spurs, who might have like which European fixture scheduling and all. There might be a bit of a discussion there in terms of moving.
When is the semi-final for the Champions League?
Because for the Champions League or for the FA Cup?
Champions League.
The Champions League semi-finals is in the middle. So 35, either side of 35 is the Champions League semi-final legs.
Okay, because Arsenal's got a double on 33, right?
Arsenal has a double in 33, but they will blank in 34.
Yep.
And then you have semi-final leg, the first leg, game week 35, and then semi-final, the second leg, and then game week 36.
I feel like I'm probably gonna use wildcard on 33.
Yeah, fair enough.
Free hit 34, and just see how I go.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea as well, to be honest. And then triple captain probably 36, depending on whichever team doubles. Yep. So that's kind of one route to play. Right now, for those who wildcarded in 30 or 31, a lot were looking at actually a bench boost in 32. But we've spoken about, I've talked or hinted about potential rotation, and we'll get to the fixtures. Because now looking at some of the teams that might rotate in Europe, there might be a bit of a concern with regards to playing the bench boost in 32. So bench boost in 33 looks like a popular window as well. for those who wildcarded in 30 or 31. Free hit again, same windows regardless of when, like 34 or 37 are the free hit windows. Triple captaincy has been considered. Like there was a discussion of like maybe you could play it on ESAC this week as a candidate for triple captaincy. Me trying to be differential, I'm looking at potentially 36. Although at this moment we don't know who's going to double in 36, so you have to be happy with whoever comes and then just see what's the best solution in 36.
Well, I think triple captain 32. I might even go for that.
Fair enough. That's also not too bad.
Mm.
So those are the two windows for triple captaincy for anyone who has. And then obviously assistant manager, I have a slide later. Anyone who still has an assistant manager will have a look into that as well. So yeah, those are the fixtures, or at least the fixture layout for chips. So having said that, any other questions on this?
No, I'm just thinking about like Liverpool. What's Liverpool seems like pretty consistent, and
Yep.
do you think people would, the fact that their form is pretty bad?
Yeah, the thing is, the only one I think a lot of teams only have Salah, and that's it.
Yeah,
mainly because there is no double.
I think I still got Van Dijk.
Okay, you can keep it for 33, but if you're wildcard in 33, you don't really care. So you probably have taken him out anyways. But a lot of people have only one. Some have two, and the reason they have two is because they're looking to bench boost in 33. And in that situation, Liverpool have Leicester, who are struggling to find a goal these days. So that's why people are having a Liverpool defender, second Liverpool defender. But most people just have Salah, and that's it. Yeah. All right. Game week 32. Goals and clean sheet odds from Rob T. We'll start off obviously with the City Crystal Palace fixture. First game of the double for Crystal Palace. City obviously here projected 2.15, Crystal Palace 1.03. You've got, I noticed you had two differential Palace players in Nketiah, not Nketiah, sorry, in Eze and Tariq Mitchell. Not too bad. I've got Sa, Mateta, and Munoz as the other three. I would recommend Mateta because of the double if anyone's looking to make a transfer, because 32 double, 33 double as well. The only thing with City, not with City, with Crystal Palace, they lost Guehi to a red card, which means he's suspended for the City game. And this is why I brought up Nketiah, because he's also suspended for the City game because of a red card as well. So Mateta should get a good number of minutes for the City game. But their defensive, because of the Guehi loss, don't expect any clean sheets, most likely, I would say.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised the expected goals is only 2, because City's their main target now is to get into top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got nothing else, right? That's their focus.
Yeah, but even against United, it looked like United were more likely to win that game than City at this point. I don't know what's happening with City. It's just.
I reckon they know that decision, the legal case, and that is coming.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's coming. It's coming now.
Yeah, that's what. But does that take? That might have a slight impact. But even then, I don't know. Like, I don't mind having City assets, to be honest. Still, like I've got Marmoush, Guardiola, and I've gone for Ederson as a third City player for the double in 33. But like apart from Marmoush from City attack, I don't really want any other City attack. Like who do you look at City and go, this guy is playing good, I don't mind getting him? No one.
Typically you would pick Phil Foden, right? Yeah. But I don't think he's not really himself at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. He's been pretty poor recently. So there's no one that really stands out from a City attacking point of view. Like if Haaland was there, maybe Haaland will be part of the conversation. But it's only Marmoush, and then that's kind of it from City attack.
Yeah. Why didn't they become like this last season? I mean, what the... Makes no sense. The whole season makes no sense, to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, City, I mean, at this point, if you want triple City, I think double defense might be a better way, because the defense is not too bad. City's defense. Attack though is a bit lackluster. That Marmoush is still good. He takes a lot of shots. He is a shot merchant. So
is Crystal Palace still sort of in European football contention?
No, I don't think so. Let me have a look. So Palace are right now ranked. They're ranked 11th, 43 points. I mean, if they can get into the top 8, there is a possibility for like Europa League football or even Conference League football potentially. So it's a 5-point gap between them and Fulham, who is 8th right now.
Right. So anything can happen,
Yeah,
right?
it's possible.
Because you got top 5
Yeah.
Champions League.
Yeah. The
And
next two
Palace
is like
still
Europa
in
League.
the FA Cup, aren't they?
Who? Palace are still in the FA Cup. So if they win the FA Cup, then they can get Europa League football.
Their focus is probably actually on the FA Cup.
Yeah, it probably will be. Because
they've got a better chance to win that one than get to the top 7 or 8.
Yeah, but then that would be closer to like Game Week 33 when they get to Game Week 33 because they have Game Week 33, Palace have Bournemouth and Arsenal. So Arsenal is the second fixture for Palace. So they might actually rotate in that fixture to rest some of their players ahead of the FA Cup semi-final.
They're unbeaten for the last 5 games, by the way. 4 win and 1 draw.
Palace. Yeah, on some decent form.
Yeah, really good form. So,
Yeah.
you know what? There's a chance they might do something. That probably explains they still got 1.03.
Yeah, chance. Yeah.
I think they do have a chance.
Yeah. So when it comes to assistant managers, when we discuss later, Glasner has a table bonus fixture for anyone who wants assistant manager against Manchester City, and he has a table bonus fixture against Newcastle as well. There's 2 table bonus games. Not bad. Not. I mean, it's worth a punt. Definitely worth a punt.
100% it is. If you haven't used that,
yeah,
that's your opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So that's City and Crystal Palace. I probably wouldn't look at any other players from those 2 teams.
Yeah.
So between
serious thought should be on the Crystal Palace players.
You have Eze, and he's returned in the last couple of game weeks. I've got Ismail Sarr, and Sarr has had 0 shots in the last 2 game weeks. But I'm hoping that because the next set of opponents for Palace are a bit more harder teams. So I'm hoping on the counter attack, they'll have to play counter attack in football, which means there might potentially be a bit more space. Is what I'm hoping for. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. But yeah, right now Eze looks like a better option because of the returns. But I still think Sarr is not too bad as well.
Yeah, would you say Matata is the best
pick
out of 4? Yeah. That's probably why I think as well.
Yeah, because like penalties and talisman, and now that Nketiah is suspended for 1 game as well out of the double, he'll have to play at least 90 minutes potentially for the first game at least. So you're getting a good number of minutes. Yep. Next up, Brighton versus Leicester. You've got double Brighton. Honestly, you might be in a very differential point of view like compared to most wildcard teams. And this should be a good week for Brighton. Leicester struggling to score at this moment. I think they haven't scored in the last 8 or something like that. Some insane stat like that. So they're struggling.
They preparing for Champions League,
championship. Yeah. Definitely, they are definitely on the championship road at this moment. But Brighton, Joe Pedro didn't start last week, but I think he should potentially play this week. Don't see why he won't. So I think if you have Joe Pedro, should be fine. Brighton have quite a bit of injuries though, I should add, in midfield and defense. Add to that, I forgot his name. I think it was Van Heck. Yes, I think he got sent off as well against Crystal Palace. So he's also suspended for this game. But even then, because of Leicester's just unable to find the net, I still think Brighton defense is not a bad option.
Brighton is never good for their defense anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But this week they might have a chance. So for anyone who was bench boosting this week, Brighton players are probably a team to go and target if you're looking to bench boost. And if you wanted a defensive option, I think Estupinen from fullback is good. And then Joe Pedro up front. Those are my Brighton options. Mitoma, maybe.
Yeah. Minta's still there? Minta's still playing?
Yes, I believe so. I hope he's not injured. Let me just quickly check that. because Brighton has so many injuries. I think Rata was the one who was injured and not Minte. Yeah, Minte should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's also
But
alright.
he hasn't really done much really last
Not
few
in the
games.
last couple. I still prefer Mitoma as a bit more of an explosive talisman than Minte. Yep. But Joe Pedro is good, and I expect him to play. So we'll see. So that is Brighton. Leicester, no one. That's it. Moving on. Forest versus Everton. I went with one Forest defender on my wildcard. Purely because of when we spoke about chip possibilities, if like Forest beat City in the semis, then they could double in 36. That's one of the reasons I went with a Forest defender. I'm potentially starting my Forest defender this week against Everton.
Oh, they're pretty solid.
Yeah. Their numbers have reduced a bit in terms of defensive numbers, but I still think like against Everton, they should potentially be able to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, who did you get?
Murillo, who is one of the centre backs.
Oh, I thought you were going to get, what's his name? Milenkovic.
He's a set piece threat, yes. But I was looking between the two. Milenkovic is slightly more expensive as well.
Right.
But Murillo has a lot more bonus points potential if they keep a clean sheet. So that's why I went slightly that like differential. Rank chasing as well, right? Have to kind of go differential. The other one is Nico Williams, who is also a pretty attacking fullback. Even more cheap as well if anyone wanted. Apart from that, Elanga did pick up a knock, so might want to monitor and see whether he's fit for anyone who's looking. Up front, no Chris Wood yet, so had to wait on that. Everton options. At the moment, I wouldn't look at any Everton options just because fixtures are not good. But if you're playing a late wildcard, maybe not for you, Roy, because if you're playing in 33, but for those playing in 35 potentially, Everton have Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, and then Newcastle. So Ipswich, Fulham, and Southampton, not too bad for Everton fixtures.
The last two games at Goodison Park.
Yes, that also have to consider. So those are not too bad to have like some Everton assets for that, like at least Everton defense maybe in that time period. For anyone who's thinking of like a Game Week 35 wildcard. But yeah.
Who would you pick as their
Pickford?
Tarkowski?
Tarkowski maybe. Mikalenko potentially. He was flagged, so you might want to see because he was injured or something.
Patterson's played against Arsenal.
Yeah, so Mikalenko, if he's back, then Mikalenko. I picked Eleman Endai when they first doubled in 25, but then he went and got injured, unfortunately. But now he's back. So it's probably him for me from the forward line. But those are the three options potentially. No one else. But don't have to consider that now. Maybe after Game Week 34.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's from Everton. Forest we've discussed. Anything else to add on to those two?
Nope.
All right. Southampton versus Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa played a very interesting lineup against PSG, where Watkins was benched for the lineup against PSG. So now
that makes no sense at all. Well, unless they just try to use Rashford.
Yeah, I think that's what I think they were trying to do. But I was shocked that Rashford started ahead of Watkins. Now I'm thinking Watkins could potentially start the Southampton fixture because of that, to get some minutes and all.
Is it injured? It's not injured.
No, I don't think. But I think he's carrying a knock potentially because he hasn't started that many games recently as well. So I don't know.
Maybe he just wanted to go to Arsenal.
That could. I don't know. But
he was pissed off he didn't get the Arsenal move.
But like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But maybe now I think he's going to start against Southampton. Apart from that, Asensio also didn't start. But Asensio, I think they are more managing his minutes because he has had injury situations in the past. So they might be a bit more careful with that. Because Aston Villa still can get that top 5 spot as well. They are very close with City and Chelsea in terms of points. So they are capable of getting top 5 as well. So from anyone looking at double game week players for 33, Asensio should be okay for the double, but minutes risk. Morgan Rogers is the safe option for minutes.
He's in form as well.
Yeah, and he plays 90 regardless. Now, I'll be surprised if he plays against Southampton because I think he probably should get a rest ahead of the second leg.
That guy is so fit.
Yeah,
He's like
I don't know how he plays. So like every game he plays like 90. So
he's built like I don't know. He's built like a machine. This
yeah.
guy.
So I mean, he's probably the safe pick if you wanted Aston Villa midfielder for minutes. Rashford, I think Rashford is more going to be rotated with Watkins on the looks of it. It's worth the punt. But minutes definitely a risk.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth the risk to pick their borderlines. Their mind is on Champions League.
For the moment, we won't know because by game week 33, they might either be in or out of Champions League as well. So
they'll be out for sure.
Yeah. So, if they're out, then they have to go full on the league as well. So we'll have to probably.
If you ask me a question, would I rather play Aston Villa or PSG? I might even pick PSG.
It's because it's like Aston Villa could be a bit of a harder because they've played.
Just don't feel like playing Champions League if you play against Aston Villa.
Okay, it's not that European pedigree you're saying, but I mean, it's because
and we don't usually play well against Aston Villa.
Yeah, fair enough. That's because the team they've played Arsenal a few times already, so they might know a few of the how to get your number.
Emery,
yeah, exactly.
He's got his thing against Arsenal.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Fair enough. But yeah, Villa, I think more likely to look at next week rather than this week. Even though for anyone who has Rodgers, I might still potentially start him depending on who you're benching. I was looking at starting Rashford over Saka initially because I thought Saka will get rotated, but I wasn't expecting Rashford to start against PSG. That's why. But now that I saw Rashford start against PSG, I swapped it back where I put Saka back in the starting lineup. But let's actually.
I can't see Saka play that many minutes though.
Yeah, that's right. So let's go to that Arsenal Brentford. Do you expect a full rotation?
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, really? How many?
Oh yeah. With defense, I think Miles will be given a rest because we've got too many left back.
So Zinchenko or someone.
Zinchenko or Tierney will play on the left.
Yep.
I think Kiwior and Saliba will play because we've got no one else. We sold our centre back to you guys, right? Heaven.
Oh yeah, Heaven. Yeah.
So we've got no one to play there.
Yep.
I think Ben White will start
over Timber. Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, then Timber will come on.
Yep. Rhea
midfield.
Will Rhea play or will Neto play?
No, we've got no one else can play that.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter as a goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Jorginho will play. Partey will be rested for sure.
Will Declan Rice play or will Odegaard play? Because Odegaard didn't start, right? Against Real Madrid.
No, he did start. Oh? He did start. He didn't start against Everton.
Okay. So who is
against Everton?
Do you think Declan Rice, Jorginho will play in that midfield, but who is going to partner?
Trossard will play. Just think Trossard. If Trossard play on top, then Winieri play on the right. I think Sterling will play on the left.
Yeah,
you got Sterling, Trossard, Winieri.
Sterling, Trossard.
All these three won't play in the Champions League.
So do you think like Merino will go into that midfield?
Go back to the midfield, yeah.
But then Merino also needs to start.
Yeah, Jorginho, Merino, and Declan Rice maybe. I think Odegaard might play.
Just to give Rice a break or something.
There's no one else, right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely no one else. Yeah, I think
so in that way, then Saka probably doesn't start.
He doesn't. He won't start. He limped off. He was.
Yes, he did.
That's sort of injured. Yeah.
But like Saka is limped.
He does that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a different story. Because the last couple of games he's been eased back in. He's been building his minutes. So that's why I was wondering, like whether he'll get at least like 60 minutes maybe and get subbed off instead to just still build up his minutes. No,
I can't see that.
Yeah,
he's clearly fit to play, and you see how he played against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He's back, right? He's already back. You just don't want to have any risk of getting him injured again.
This is where I then wonder, like, which person would I rather have coming off the bench? Would I prefer like Saka's 30 minutes against Brentford or something, or like Rashford's like 30 minutes against Southampton. And then who do I start out of that is like kind of the discussion at this point, I guess. I'll have to wait and see.
I don't see both players play that many minutes, to be fair.
Yeah, fair. This is the thing. This is why like bench boosting in 32, if anyone was looking, like so too much rotation involved with like some of the key players you're looking to get.
Yeah, but Southampton is so shit, right?
Yeah.
Rashford will have a chance to score against Southampton than
Yeah, true.
Arsenal risking Saka to play against the Brentford team.
Okay.
Well, that's just my view. That's just
Yeah.
my view.
Decisions to
We
be made.
rest all the players.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I could even potentially start Saka, and if he doesn't play a single minute as well, then it's fine as well for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what Arteta says in the press conference as well. But he's probably not going to give away anything.
Yeah. The only reason he came on,
yeah,
is because Everton equalised, I think.
No, he came on at halftime. He came up before the equalizer. So that's why I was thinking he was getting minutes built into him to improve fitness. So that is what I was thinking. Which is why I was thinking maybe a 60 minutes game against Brentford. Because Brentford aren't an easy team as well.
I mean, who knows, man. Okay. Arteta, you can't predict.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we'll see what happens. But tread with caution with your Arsenal players, I would say. Do you see
Arsenal? It will be heavily rotated for sure.
Yeah. Would you see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet? I mean, 38% here, but Brentford played well against Chelsea and were a bit unlucky not to score. I have currently thought of benching Saliba. And I'll show you my team later, like in terms of why I'm doing it. But
yeah, there's some, because there's such a high against Real Madrid, and then this hype might just impact this game.
Okay, fair enough. So you might be like a bit of a low, because you're playing a big team and then suddenly
so high in the cloud, and come again, play at home against Brentford. Nothing really matters anymore, and I just don't see.
Feel it in the fan base.
Or Kirill try to get himself injured.
Yeah, fair enough. There'll be a bit more cautionary about like trying to avoid. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, we'll see what happens in this game. All right, next one: Chelsea versus Ipswich. Palmer should be okay for this game, but Palmer got benched. I don't know why Palmer got benched in the last game, honestly, because like he needs to be rested to play Ligia Warsaw. I don't know what this guy's doing. To be honest, I have no idea what he's doing, but like Chelsea's
form has been pretty bad. So
yeah, along with Chelsea's form as well, the form has been pretty poor in the last couple of game weeks. I don't know, like they still need to win games to get into the top 5. Now, Ipswich on the other hand are making a late play to try and avoid relegation. But I still think Chelsea should win this game potentially.
No, they should.
Yeah. I mean, if you have any Chelsea players, I'd probably play them. But apart from that, I wouldn't look and buy. I wouldn't go buying anyone.
No.
For anyone,
who
would you play?
Who would you get for Chelsea if you were to get one Chelsea player?
Just Palmer.
But not Neto.
No. So the thing is, transfers are precious, right? You need to use those transfers for the doubles instead. Like if I was wildcarding this week, I don't think I'll have Palmer as well still, to be honest. I'm not sure. So I'll just go and and like I'll just go and get Saka and just bench him if I need to, because like you'll have to spend a transfer moving Palmer to Saka next week anyways. So it's just a waste of a transfer, I feel like. Kind of what I'm thinking, but yeah.
100% you're right. Yep.
That's it, Ted from Chelsea. Nothing from Ipswich as well. If anything, Liam Delap, keep an eye on him. He might potentially score. That's it. Liverpool versus West Ham. Now, Salah is the only option here. No captaincy option for him. His form has slightly dipped last couple of games, but because he doesn't have a double game week, the double game week players would be the captaincy conversation. Defensively, you said you had Van Dijk. Could probably start him this week without a problem. West Ham have been
absolutely nothing to play for, right?
Yeah, basically. They do have, for anyone who's looking at bench boosting in 33, they play against Southampton, West Ham. And in that specific situation, Jared Bowen in midfield is not too bad, but you're probably looking at the defenders mainly because you'll be looking at double game week attackers instead. So in goal, Ariola should be okay, and maybe Wan-Bissaka if anyone wanted a cheap defender. But I don't mind punting against West Ham because everyone will try and go for West Ham assets. So if you're looking to climb rank, I'd probably take a small hedge against West Ham as well, potentially. Assume Southampton can try and score a goal and then ruin the clean sheet.
Just give Liverpool the title now. Jesus.
You need to avoid the guard of honor. Delay it as much as possible.
Who cares? Only thing matters is Champions League.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's it from Liverpool West Ham. Wolves Spurs. Again, I mean, nothing really to add into this. Like, I won't be surprised if Wolves beat Spurs here, because Spurs will be focusing on Europa League.
You said the only thing that is enjoyable this season is Spurs and United. Their demise. That's really what makes me interested in watching the Premier League games. Anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? Like literally anything can happen.
Roy's basically he turns on the TV and he's on hate watch.
Don't watch Arsenal anymore. Just watch Tottenham and United.
Just watch them lose every week.
I watch more of their games than Arsenal games probably.
But like, yeah, Spurs, honestly, I wouldn't look at anyone at the moment. Same thing for Wolves as well.
Especially they got a Europa League as well.
Exactly. So there'll be rotation there as well. So yeah, and they've got a tough fixture as well. They got Frankfurt, not an easy fixture. So yeah, nothing else to add on that. Newcastle, Man United. Now Newcastle have a double game week, and this is one of them. Obviously at home for Newcastle as well. Isak, Murphy are probably the best Newcastle attacking options. Doesn't seem like Anthony Gordon is fit yet from the looks of it. No. You've got Kluivert, and if you're looking to move him, Murphy is not a bad option in the price range. Apart from that, defensively, I don't think Newcastle... I mean, there's a chance they keep a clean sheet against United. But against Palace, I don't know. But if you were looking for Newcastle defenders... it's between Livramento and Dan Burn for me. Livramento is more of an assist threat option, I would consider, which is what he showed on the weekend. He got that one assist for Jacob Murphy. Dan Burn is more of the goal threat. And those are the two budget affordable options. The slightly more expensive option is Fabian Schär, who almost scored and hit the post. So he's definitely a goal threat as well. I probably wouldn't get Pope in goal. I don't think there's a need.
Yep. I think you should triple Newcastle players for this week.
Yeah, I would. So those are like
who would you pick? Who would be top three?
Isak, Murphy, and I would go Livramento for the assist threat because I think that's more likely to happen than goal threat from set pieces for Dan Burn, potentially.
No Bruno
Jimenez, he is a differential punt if you wanted. You could actually go triple Newcastle attack over having one defender. Because if you look at it, you could go, okay, maybe there's unlikely that they keep a clean sheet in both games. So maybe you can go Bruno as a third punt. But his returns won't be as maybe consistent as maybe a Murphy, potentially. Like, because Murphy playing on the wing seems to have a better goal threat and also assist threat as well. Bruno Jimenez, I mean, I don't mind Bruno Jimenez. It's not too bad. He's done pretty decently at times. But I'd slightly prefer Murphy more because he's a bit more attacking. So yeah, that's probably where I would go. You? Same or Bruno as well?
No, I don't. I only got Isak, I think.
Yeah, so you probably look to get another maybe Newcastle attacker.
I don't have any transfers. Well, actually, I have two. So I could actually do something. I could actually get Murphy and
Mateta.
Yeah, Mateta.
Yeah, you would.
That's probably what I'm gonna do. Yes.
Yeah.
I got money. I got plenty of money. I don't know why I got so much money.
Fair enough. There you go. That's from Newcastle. From Man United, no one really because no double game week. Patrick Dogu was someone I was considering on a wildcard in 31 for the bench boost in 33 because they play Wolves in 33. So I was thinking about that. He looks pretty good from an attacking point of view, but clean sheets are not coming as much to be honest. They did keep a clean sheet against City, but like nothing much to add from United because no doubles.
But what's going on with United? Are they've
improved
selling Garnacho or what?
Oh, that I don't know. Transfers, not really sure. Right now, though, I can see improvement with every game. The only thing that's problem is like the playing style is improving. The only thing that is a problem is the goal scoring. They're struggling to score goals because the goal scorers aren't any good. So unless Bruno
They
Fernandes,
got like 2 strikers that might not be there next season.
that is also possible. Yes.
Yeah.
So goal scoring is definitely a problem this season. So unless Bruno Fernandes like scores and turns up, very, very, very lack of goals is a huge concern this season.
It's a big issue next season.
Yeah, so playing Lyon this again in the Europa League is also not going to be an easy week because they also have some tricky customers. So we'll see how that goes.
They have Lacazette.
Yes, they do. They have Lacazette. They have Maitland-Niles, some Arsenal lads.
Oh yeah.
They also have a lad called Chekri, who is a pretty decent option as well. He's a winger. He's probably their best player. They also have Matic, who basically roasted Andre Onana in the press conference. And they also, do you know Tagliafico, the Argentine fullback who played for
and I
Ajax?
know, yeah, he actually played in the World Cup, right?
Yes. So they have
Yeah.
him at fullback as well. So him and Maitland-Niles are the fullbacks.
Pretty decent team.
Yeah, they do have a pretty decent team. They're fifth, I think, in Liga or something. So pretty decent team. So we'll see how that goes today. But yeah, that is for Newcastle United. And then the final one before the next double is Bournemouth and Fulham. Clivert still a bit of a doubt. Evan Nilsson is the only good option. But because of the lack of doubles at the moment, probably no Bournemouth as a target. There is a possibility Bournemouth could double in 36, but it depends on obviously FA Cup results. So we won't know until then. And then the final team, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, facing off against each other. I think we've already mentioned both teams. So anything to add on that?
No, not really. I mean, Clivert is injured. He's a 50% chance of playing, so I'm gonna have to pick someone else, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why
both teams got nothing to play for either. Fulham's actually got something to play for.
European football. Yes, that is a possibility. So you could play. You have Raul Jimenez. He's not a bad option.
I do have him, but I'm gonna get Mateta in.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't think I'll play Fulham defense though. I still think Bournemouth could find something.
Robertson's probably the only one you would pick.
Yeah, but not for this week potentially.
Not for this week, no.
Yeah.
Iwobi is actually good.
Yes. The other one I should add, playing out of position is Sessegnon, who scored a goal last week. That's another player to kind of keep an eye out for. But Fulham, because of no doubles, not as appealing.
No.
All right. Before we go, I think we'll talk about triple captaincy or even captaincy. There's a question from Varun. Thoughts on triple captain Isak in game week 32? Would you wait for a potential double game week 36 and go for like a Haaland if fit or Marmoush in 36 potentially? Or double game week 32 Isak this week? So I'll ask you as well, Roy, because I've said I'm putting it on 36 because I just chasing blind and playing different.
I'm triple captain
Isak this week.
I just think Newcastle they must get to top 5.
Yeah, and 2 home games as well.
Yeah, 2 home games. United's defense is not that good. Palace is, yeah. I mean, home games for Newcastle is quite solid. St James Park. The fans were behind them, and Isak he's in good form.
Yep.
I'm actually not 90% sure I'm going to triple captain him now.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't mind because if you want to triple captain this week, is a good option to kind of put it on because we're not certain who exactly in 36 will be the play.
Also, by that time, the Premier League is already wrapped up, right? So
yes, that could be true as well. Yeah. So we don't. So it is definitely a risk holding it because you don't know who you're going to put it on. But it is a differential play as well. So it just depends on how much risk you're willing to take as well.
yeah,
There's a
at this
possibility.
stage, go on.
There's a possibility that there might not even be a double in 36. Potentially, we're just predicting there doesn't have to be one.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage of the season, you go for the teams that's got something to play for.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, true. That's true. All right. Palace focus should be not to get any more red cards. That's true. Murphy, Semenyo, Rogers. Which is the best enabler according to you, says Akshat?
Murphy, Semenyo, and who?
Murphy, Semenyo, and Morgan Rogers. So Rogers obviously has a double in 33. Murphy has a double this week. Semenyo has no double at all. So I probably wouldn't look at Semenyo.
Murphy's in good form.
Yeah, that's what. I'd probably go Murphy because of his minutes more guaranteed at this moment. Rogers, we don't know if he's playing this week as well. So I probably wouldn't do that. So I think Murphy first, Rogers second.
Yeah, I think the position-wise, Murphy has more chance to score goals and get involved in attack.
Yep, fair enough. Charis says, I was thinking of saving my bench boost and free hit for double game week 36 and 37. I want to know if I should bench boost now or waiting is the best. Oh, he wants us to look at his team. Oh, I'll probably look at that on the deadline stream.
Right. Okay.
Related stuff. Yeah, but I think bench boosting in 33 might be a better way. Because if you're going to hold out on bench boost, now it depends on when you played your wildcard. If you haven't played your wildcard yet, then later is fine. But if you played your wildcard now, I think you might as well bench boost soon because trying to hold out, unless you build your wildcard to bench boost later, it's going to be even more harder because you don't know like players' injuries and everything could happen, and then you're just trying to fix injuries to put out a good team for a bench boost, and just you take way more unnecessary hits, I guess.
Yep, it's good advice. That.
Yep. All right, assistant manager. I just wanted to add the two main competitors this week are Howe and Glasner. So this shows kind of like a percentage odds of where their points might come from. Eddie Howe is definitely the safe play, but with like 10 to 15 points expected this week, most likely, because he doesn't have any table bonus. So he's expected to win both games, but Glasner definitely has that high upside. So if you're willing to chase the risk with Glasner, I mean, they're both expected almost similar amount of points as well. So there is, I don't mind chasing that edge on Glasner with 2 table bonus. You might get lucky in one of them.
Yeah. There's 40% chance for Glasner to get under 10 points. The same percentage will give how
10 to 15.
More than 10.
Yeah.
Around 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but that's because Glasner has harder fixtures. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. If I put my accountant's hat on, then it is Eddie Howe.
Sure. Yeah, that's the thing, because of the easier fixtures. So I think if you started with Eddie Howe, you keep him. And I think even if you started with Glasner, you probably keep him. But if you didn't go for either and you wanted the safer play, then it's probably Eddie Howe. Because you expect Newcastle to win both games.
Yeah.
So that was the assistant manager. Roy, this is your team. So I'll read it out for those listening on the audio. And if you reached up to this point on the audio, please leave a 5-star review. Thank you very much. And do hit a follow as well on the audio platforms. All right. So Roy's team in goal: Rea, Guardiola, Van Dijk, Agbadu from Wolves, Mitchell, Rogers, Mitoma, Eze, Salah, Isak, Joe Pedro. On the bench, you had Fabianski, Kluivert, Raul, and Robinson. And you said you're holding your wildcard for Game Week 33. Interestingly, this week, if you look at the opponents your teams are playing, like you have Brighton lads playing Leicester, pretty good. Isaiah Mitchell and Isak with the doubles.
Yeah.
Salah and Virgil playing West Ham. Guardiola playing Palace. Rodgers is one that I guess you'll have to play and hope that he starts.
Well, if I were to get Murphy in, get Mateta in, maybe
Yep.
Rogers on the bench.
Oh yeah, no, because you get Mateta as well. Yeah. Then you go Rodgers on the bench. Then you should be fine. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think that might be a play, like Murphy and Mateta. And then you'll have like 5 players for a double, which is fine. And then and then after that, you know the Champions League results as well next week, and you'll be able to make a better squad based on that information.
Yep. I also triple captain Isak.
Yes, that's true. Yep. Cool. So that's
I'm looking to get 150 points.
Isak hat trick in both games. Fair enough. We'll see how it goes. So that's Roy's team. This is mine. So I wildcarded. Unfortunately, my bench was the wrong time to put players on the bench. So I had Rea, Livramento, Munoz, and Saliba. With Salah, Rashford, Saka, Murphy, and Ismail side midfield. Marmoush and Isak up front. I had Edison, Mateta, and Guardiola on the bench alongside Murillo. And both Edison and Guardiola kept a clean sheet. Guardiola got 3 bonus. Mateta scored. I had 24 points on the bench this week.
Oh my god.
I know. And I started Rashford and Saka, who both didn't start and came off. It was a disaster, but I still managed to get a green arrow, but it was a disaster of a benching situation.
Yeah, I mean, if Everton didn't get that penalty, your score would be much higher.
That is true. I would have had Arsenal double clean sheet, and I wouldn't have minded the fact that Guardiola and Edison both kept clean sheet. But yeah, that's true. So this week I'll play Livramento and Munoz because they have the double game week. My one other defender, I'm thinking of starting Murillo ahead of Guardiola and Saliba, because Murillo has Everton, Saliba has Brentford, and I'm thinking Brentford could score. And Guardiola has Palace, and I kind of want Palace to score because I have 2 Palace attackers. In midfield is where I have to decide now between Rashford and Saka and who to start. That's where I was like, who do I prefer more for 30 minutes?
Do you not think that Watkins will play in the Villa game?
Yes, I think he'll start. I think,
he has to. If he doesn't start that game, there's some issues. Something going on.
You better hand in a transfer
request.
request.
Sign a contract with Arsenal or something.
Yeah, you better hand in a transfer request if he doesn't play that.
Yeah, if he doesn't play 100%, he'll come to Arsenal.
Then, do you see Rashford starting 2 back-to-back games? I don't even know.
He's a long player.
Yeah.
Why do they care?
That's also true. I don't understand why they started Rashford over Watkins.
They don't have obligation to buy him, do they?
No.
So yeah, they would just say, yeah, F him, let him play. And do you know what I mean? Just let him play.
So then then I probably bench Saka, I guess. So anyways, we'll see that. I'll wait and see.
I'm surprised he play against PSG. That is really because of his pace. I think that's because of his pace.
Yeah, I think they were trying to play like behind the line, but like they just didn't get any service that he didn't do much. Because Watkins also came on and really didn't do much. No service. So we'll see what exactly Unai Emery says in the press conference as well.
And I mean, with the home game, they try to
they need to play
the game around, so they have to attack.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that's basically it for my team, and that's all that I've got. Any other further questions? Chari says I wildcarded to bench boost in 33. Yes, so if you wildcarded to bench boost in 33, just bench boost in 33 because if you go to keep your bench boost even longer, and if you haven't wildcarded for that, then you're just going to end up in a situation where any injury that comes and then you're screwed. You just start taking hits and unnecessary just to play a bench boost. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Roy, anything to add?
No, nothing to add. How many rounds to go? 7 games 7 weeks to go.
Yes, kind of. Yeah. And we are on 980 subscribers as well. So if we can end up on 1K before the season ends, that would be amazing. So for anyone who's listening, go tell your friends as well to subscribe.
And tell your friends as well.
Exactly, and try and get us to 1,000 subscribers. That's it from me, and that's it from Roy as well. And we will see you all next week for Game Week 33's podcast. And I'll see you all for the deadline stream as well this week. Until then, peace out, everyone.
Awesome. Bye.